Sony slashes PlayStation VR2 headset output, though, after pre-orders disappoint. High price has been seen as a limiting factor for wider adoption. Sluggish demand exacerbates lackluster momentum for the VR sector. Now, we talk about everything as far as things being soft right now. We talked about refrigerators. We talked about the Seattle Kraken. And we talked about Apple possibly reporting lower numbers than they have since 2019 in terms of revenue growth. Mm-hmm. Does that play a factor when you're talking about a very expensive VR headset? Sure, it does.
That's very much into just entertainment, purely, right?
Plays a role, Will. It plays a role, but there are other things playing a role too, like what is up with the adoption or lack of adoption of VR? Because I know you're the guy when it comes to that. You're Mr. VR around here, at least. Of the bunch of us in here, that would be you.
Yeah. Not so much, but, I am the guy.
But of the bunch of us, that would be you.
Yeah.
And so my question is, what is going on with VR? Why has it not been the thing that everybody thought it was going to be?
I think it's got to be wireless. I mean, the Quest and the Quest 2 is amazing headsets, but then Meta bought it. And then I think it's like a branding issue. They don't really like it.
Okay, somebody in the chat just said, forget about VR, go touch grass. That's what somebody said over there. People need to go. Is this a thing that...
I completely agree.
Is this a thing that people can't overcome? That once they put the mask on, that they feel that it's too much, that they've gone too far? Maybe it won't be...
There is that perception.
Maybe it won't be the same for all generations in the future, but just right now, as far as consistently using the thing, is there a threshold that just can't get figured out?
I mean, there's people that live in the headset right now, but those are few and far between. I think most people just want to put on the headset once in a while, maybe show their friends, but not on a daily basis. Not the general public, even if they own a Quest, so like a wireless one.
Do you know anybody in real life that is just all in on the VR?
No.
Me either.
No. There's a lot of like YouTube content creators, which I feel like they would use it on a daily basis. But it's rare.
Even that was a moment. Like you would see it going up, and it seemed cool and then it went back down. Like I just wonder what piece is missing. Now, obviously, if you and I had the insight, we would go build it and whatever else. And
we knew what we were talking about.
Yeah, people could go and sing about us being billionaires over at the game. Yeah. But it seems that something still is missing. And I don't know if it's the experience itself. I don't know how vivid the experience needs to be, or if it's just the barrier of the physical equipment. And if it just needs to shrink more and more and more, and the comfort level of interacting with it has to go up.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like it needs to be seamless, the hardware. And it's also got to have some sort of component to real life that is worthwhile, that has value, and maybe in the productivity space. But then Meta just try to make it like this workspace.
But the thing I don't understand about that, Will, is if you're staying in the productivity space. So let's imagine we spend all day working in the headset. Okay, maybe there's an example of this. But we spend all day working in the headset, and then we're like, oh, I can't wait to get home and play games in the headset.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, dude, when do you get out? When do you... Now, I know it sounds funny, but you work all day on the screen, and then you go home and look at another screen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, but a lot of people do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not boycotting or anything. I have, I have too many obligations. I would probably watch. I mean, I did watch the tennis people, the break point.
Yeah.
I watched 2 episodes, and I liked it.
Uh-huh.
So, but it's, what is the threshold? How much can the humans take?
Yeah.
How much headset can the human body take before it rejects?
Yeah. Or definitely not every day right now.
A lot of people in the chat saying AR greater than VR. Maybe AR is the...
Maybe that's the answer.
Maybe it needs to be the gateway to VR.
Uh-huh. I agree.
AR can be the gateway, and people can say, okay, it's not that crazy.
But apparently this VR2 is good.
Yeah,
I
know.
Very immersive, very fun.
It's got the new controllers. And, yeah. But just look at that image. Doesn't that image say it all, though?
Yeah. Too many wires.
Yeah.
It's too bulky.
There's stuff going on, man. Yeah.
But I'm glad that they're trying it. I'm glad that every company out there that's doing VR is trying it.
Look at this right here. The lackluster demand comes at a bad time for the VR industry. Meta's Quest 2 sales dropped after the company raised the product's price and cut jobs in its hardware department. Microsoft decided to scale back its HoloLens. Like it's not exclusive to Sony or this particular piece of hardware. It's the entire segment as a whole. People are sitting around waiting. I know some people are just going to say, well, and it just doesn't, the software that I would be compelling to me is not there.
Yeah.
Maybe they need some next game or whatever. I know you jumped into the headset when you had the game you wanted to play.
Yeah, and I've tried like the boxing one, trying to get fit with an app called Supernatural, but it doesn't gel with real life. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather rock climb or something.
Right.
You know,
I hear
something physical and real I can touch.
I hear you, dude.
Yeah.